I know you roll your eyes at me because you think I don't get irony, but this will be the greatest apology witnessed by the most people ever to read a poem in the history of human history. I traded truth for alternative facts, sold integrity's soul in a Faustian pact to put America first. But there was no slaking my insatiable thirst for the power game, so when the hour came for noble concession and walking away, I shouted voter suppression and decided to stay. Things had turned quicker than my mood, faster than my food, a Big Mac and fries with large side of lies. On election night, the votes had rolled in. A pretty clear and obvious win. For me, a favourite permatam president, 4 more years as White House resident. But then the fizz began to fade. They added to the count those who made their vote by mailing. Suddenly I was trailing in key swing states. The gap to Biden started to widen. In Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Georgia, Nevada, I had to try and hit back harder. But I knew exactly what would come to my aid, so I pressed the button on a Twitter tirade. I went for caps, like the MAGA on my hats, because things look better with a capital letter. And real men, the big boys in town, refused to only use them on a proper noun. When a man of class is facing a rout, his first port of call should always be to shout, and I found just the message to hit the spot. I won this election by a lot. Who needs officials or polling stations when we all know in properly functioning nations the laws of the land are presidential proclamations? Take my dear old friend from North Korea, or closer to home, take Vladimir. You think their subjects would be disputing the verdict of Kim Jong-un or Putin? But I forget myself. This is meant to be apology, not some postal vote, tin pot meltdown chronology. I know in my head I simply didn't win. Let the list of my many confessions begin. I watched too much cable, was neither genius nor stable, thought Fox was my friend to the bitter end, miscounted that crowd after my election, pondered aloud bleach injection, made Alabama skies darker with my Sharpie marker. Bone spurs, tax blurs, I knew the art of the dodge, feeding the swamp with Rudy and Rog, dismissed my misogyny as locker room banter, still won my party supporter a canter. I have no idea why I told the Proud Boys to stand by, when obviously what I meant was for them to relent and not merely hold off the fight until a time more extreme and right. Remember, I have no clue who they actually are, which might to outsiders seem factually bizarre when I drive by their rally in my presidential car. I guess they, like me, just wanted the votes to tally, but I don't know who they are, other than patriots and probably good people. I should never have made a drama about the birthplace of Obama, but all that stuff on birther conspiracies was from a man who himself, when he looks in the mirror, sees a Satsuma skin ferocity, amber luminosity, epidermal atrocity, clearly not of this world, so let the truth be unfurled. I was born in the USA, but just not in any normal way. I was made in a sort of factory, the Trump Tower hatchery, but scientists are no match for me, so the experiment went quite wrong. The chemical mix too strong. See, they added too much keratin, hence I have this orange skin, and they also made it way too thin, a little bit too stretchy, which is why I get so tetchy and feel I always have to win. Even when no one else is competing, I feel I have to hand out a beating. Like when I've been so grouchy with that charlatan Dr. Fauci, who claims COVID is worse than normal flu, just because there's been a death or two. 100,000. But what about the fact that I personally made the vaccine? It seems to me that that's been somewhat overlooked. Who do you think has been an almost constant advisor to the hard-working men, and some women, at Pfizer? Me plus Don Jr., Jared, Ivanka, all 3 of whom in private have called me a wonderful man and father. Cannot understand why people won't admire us for single-handedly defeating this wretched China virus. Actually, you know what? Why should I apologise for 1 or 2 little lies and assault on democracy that stinks of hypocrisy? I refuse to acknowledge the Electoral College. Here's to the spurious conspiracy promoters, not the nearly 80 million piddling voters who back Sleepy Joe. Why should I go? 74 million Americans gave me the tick for my narcissistic madhouse shtick. Think you've seen chaos? I'll show you more. Vote Donald Trump, 2024.